Today is Thursday, September 17th, 2015. This is in response to the debates from last night. Let's go right into it. Let's just get rid of a couple people right now. We don't need them on the stage anymore. Whatever point they were trying to make is not there, and they're goners. So I see Huckabee, Rand Paul, and Scott Walker basically just need to leave the stage. I don't know who the last person was that was up there because I can't even remember anymore. Was it Pataki? The Graham, Santorum were on the minor stage. I can't even remember who else was there. So let's not worry about that. But those three, Huckabee, Rand Paul, and Walker, they might as well leave the stage right now. 3 or 4 people. If you want to say they held their own, I guess they held their own. Cruz, Rubio, Kasich, and Christie, even though I think Christie's luster, he cannot get any traction. That's how many people, 8 now, I don't know. Then you have Carly, Carson, Trump, and Jeb. And then so I would say out of those, well, let's get back to the other ones. Cruz held his own. He's waiting to suck up on Trump when he goes down. I'll talk about Trump in a second. Rubio held his own foreign policy-wise. Christie really seemed to do, well, he seemed to be a little demonstrative, which is good for him. That's what he needs to be. Maybe he'll get a teeny bit of traction out of that. And Kasich also showed that he's a pretty smart guy, understands that there's certain things you just can't do in government when you don't have the votes. But the others don't seem to know that. But so those 4 could stay. Then you have Trump, Fiorina, Carly, Carson, and Jeb. So from a technical standpoint, I could easily see Trump losing about 10 points politically. The reason for that is that, number one, he's not going to be able to get away with his complete demeaning, cut-down, sarcastic remarks about other people and about how great he's going to make America. He really is at the point where he has to show some type of substance in terms of what he's talking about. And people will, he's already beginning to get stale, dull, uninteresting. What's a good word for that? Insipid. And he repeats himself. And I think that that's the way he conducts himself in his business affairs. He's full of blather. He demeans other people. He probably says that kind of stuff to women all the time in business or about women. He deals with the old boys club. That's what that's what his father handed off to him. That's all the people he started to deal with in the early 70s. So I just don't see him continuing to get any more traction. He might stay where he is. I think his fall now is starting to show it's being inevitable. So I could easily see him losing 10 points. I could easily see Carson losing 5 or 10 points. He really had a chance to smack down Trump on the autism and vaccines, which, just to make a long story short, someone came out with a paper about 15 years ago, said that certain vaccines caused autism. It made a big scare. There's still people playing on that scare right now. You can find that all over the internet. It has been debunked. It has been disproven. They have done tests and studies. They proved all of that wrong. I do believe the doctor that came out with it was disbarred, or whatever you do to a doctor. And for Trump to come out with that, and then for Carson not to dig it in and just say emphatically, everything has shown that nothing in the way of vaccines that came out from all that time ago has ever had a scintilla of evidence that is true. But he just sort of mildly and meekly indicated that the studies have shown that it really doesn't happen, but it's done by big government. So I really think his meekness in there, shows that he's not ready for the prime time. He's not ready for this because, he has to be decisive. And he has to, one of the things I always liked about Rudy Giuliani, not that I ever liked him in any way, but in the sense that, he was the district attorney in New York. He made a big thing about fighting crime. But the point was, all of these attorneys, all of these people, that are district attorneys, they have to review a case. They have to be briefed on it. They have to look as many facts as they can. They've got to make a decision, and they got to move on. Okay? And what Carson sort of did is he did make that decision to say emphatically, this is how it is. With an attorney, we're either going to prosecute or we're not going to prosecute, and they're going to be tough as nails and prosecute everyone who they think has broken the law, so to speak. Carson had his chance. He didn't do it. I could easily see him dropping 5 or 10 points. And that leaves us with Carly and Jeb. Jeb sort of held his own, so to speak. He was a little bit more engaged. The money's behind him, so if the money's going to stay behind him, that's where you're going to go. Carly's going to easily go up another 5 points. I always thought that she was a vice presidential candidate in the sense that that's what she really wanted. Outside of maybe Lindsey Graham, I don't know, Pataki, I don't know why Santorum's in there. I don't know what their motivation is, but I'd say that Carly Fiorina's and Lindsey Graham's is probably to be the vice presidential candidate. So I think both of them went up very, very well. But I want to emphasize, this is going to be the beginning of the end of Jeb. Excuse me, not Jeb, of Trump. Freudian slip. But right now, we got a lot of things going on in Congress for the next 10 days. There could be a shutdown. It's going to take a lot out of Trump. I think that is. Now, I want to segue to another thing real quick. One of the things that this debate has shown is that a lot of people started watching it with Trump, which, if you want to look at it, that is a good thing. The other thing that I think that is bad, barely mentioned climate change, barely mentioned, if they did mention at all, the minimum wage, barely mentioned comprehensive immigration reform. They only basically held their hard line. Didn't talk about gay marriage at all. Didn't talk really about taxing that much, to the extent that Donald had said that he would tax the rich. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning these things, those 5 things, I think, will actually determine, will preclude a Republican from becoming president. Comprehensive immigration reform, gay marriage, global climate change, minimum wage, increasing taxes on the wealthy. Those are winners for the Democrats. But the thing that I want to point out is the Democrats only have a couple debates. One of them's on a Saturday night before Christmas. What the hell is that about? They need to get these debates on in mid-October and mid-November on a weeknight, like they did, like the Republicans, so that you can have people who are going to watch it. No 3 hours, definitely an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe 2. 2 would be the most, hour and a half, because you have so many few people. And let them go into detail, because it would be such a seismic difference between what is being offered and talked about on the Republican side as opposed to what would be being offered and it'd be proposed on the Democratic side. I think it's Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the congresswoman. There's thought that she's holding back the number of debates to protect Hillary. I don't know. Who cares? Get more debates. Get them on a weeknight. Put them on for an hour. Get everyone in there. Even Jim Webb. Get in. Who's that guy from Rhode Island? It's Lincoln Chafee. Get in Martin O'Malley. Get in. Who are the last two? Bernie Sanders, and get in Hillary. Get it for 2 hours. Have women as the moderators. Don't, the whole time, just to prove that women can do it. And let's make a show. Let's make a good show. That's what's needed. Because what the Republicans did yesterday, again, to me, very sad.